What's up, guys? It is Friday, May 23rd, 8:19 a.m. This is going to be a crypto market update. I just recorded a whole update for you guys, and it turns out I wasn't recording my screen. So this is round two. Let's get into it. I'm back. I was dealing with some personal stuff. Oh, something just happened on the screen that I wanted to show you. But yeah, like I said, I'm back. Let's cover this straight out the gate because as you can see, the vertical yellow sell now on the monthly chart, total crypto market cap, the kiss of death, Grim Reaper signal. Earlier, I was recording and it vanished. It's gone. It was gone. But as you can see, probably as I'm recording, you're going to see it flicker from showing to not showing. We do not want this signal showing by the end of this month. We want this in 8 days and 12 hours to vanish. Absolutely. Because as you can see here, it's called the tops since 2018 bull market top, 2021 bull market top. And we had avoided it a couple hours ago, but right now it is flashing at this time. I'd like for it to flicker away to show you kind of what I'm talking about in real time here. But as you can see, we're at a key level on the monthly chart. We have the high back in December 2024 to the low that we had set in April. We're at the 786, around 3.36 trillion. It's going to be crucial. Now I know the key level for us to hold above is 3.4 trillion. We need to close the candle body on the monthly chart in 8 days and 12 hours above 3.4 trillion. And now I know the Bitcoin level of where we need to hold above by the end of this month for that to happen. And that is around $108,000. So if we go to Bitcoin here, you can see some of my markings from my video earlier. We need to hold 108,000 with candle body closes. We can go as low as 106,000, but by the end of this month, we absolutely need to close the candle body above 108,000, even better, back above 110,000, above this purple MA on the Stargate snakes. That would be ideal. That'd be ideal. So now let's go back to the total crypto market cap. Now that Bitcoin's starting to press up through 108,000 again. Yeah, we need to see this vanish. We need to see the kiss of death signal go away. It's chasing us like the Grim Reaper, but we're trying hard to avoid it. We avoided it in April with the grand reversal. As you remember the concept back in April, let's go to it. I was saying the grand reversal to the blow off top by May, June. To the, let's see. Yeah, pretty crazy how it's played out. But the grand reversal back April 9th, we called it at the bottom to the blow off top rally by the end of June. We already seen Bitcoin hit a new all-time high this May. And then macro top is in, exit for the real crash of the century. And don't get me wrong, we could see a second blow off top later this year. We'll have to gauge it in real time. But I do see a top coming in by the end of June, in my opinion. Maybe July it could stretch into. But yeah, so this has been the theory this whole time. We've been calling it the crypto rip no dip scenario, and we played it out to a T. I was saying here as a recent that we had a fractal that would bring us up to around 113,000 for Bitcoin. Let's go to that. Yeah, so send us up to 108K, then 113K per the fractal, right up to there. And that's exactly where we went for Bitcoin. Now we're seeing a little bit of a hiccup or a little bit of a dip, nothing substantial. But as you can see, we went up to around like 112K, 112,000. So $1,000 short, but basically there. Now let's go back to the total crypto market cap. We need to close the candle body above this 786, and we need to negate this vertical yellow sell now signal, and that would be great news as far as the crypto bull market continuing. If we go to the other chart, here's a fractal that I'm seeing that could be playing out. We could be seeing a repeat of this back here, and I do see us coming up to around 350 billion to 360 billion for others before it getting real shaky potentially. So that's where I'd want to see some caution be extended at that point. If we do pull back any further, I do see we could come back down to maybe 243 billion, as low as potentially 233 billion for others. Worst case scenario, a retest of the top of the belly of the beast. But I do see us, finding we're at a key level now where we need to see a short-term bottom for others, which is around 267 billion. We have seen that so far. And if we're going to continue up, I'd like to see it happen sooner than later for us to have this pattern pan out, kind of like what we did last time here, like this pattern panning out here, looking a little bit different, but not too crazy as far as the differences. And we would come up to bring us up to 350 billion to 360 billion for others. But we need to hold above this level right now in the short term, worst case scenario, 255 billion, 250 billion is that key level to maintain above. So that's that for others. If we look at on the daily chart, the momentum here, we are trying to turn it around, but we need to see a strong day today, or we could see a little bit lower. If we look at the 3-day chart, we saw that 3-day buy now come in. We saw the 4-day buy now come in, the 5-day buy now come in, the 6-day buy now come in, the weekly buy now come in, all strong signals. I mean, we've seen that 1 week buy now come in. If we're comparing it to the last correction we had, that was September 2024. It was just a few weeks and then we sent it up. So could we, have a little bit of a hang up here still for others? Could we have a little bit of a hang up and then send it up in June? That remains to be unseen, but we do have the signs of reversal happening. And as long as we can maintain above the short-term levels, we can make it up to 350 to 360 before finding some caution. But Bitcoin already hit new all-time highs. Crypto rip no dip scenario did pan out for Bitcoin. If we take a look at Ethereum, really hasn't seen any substantial dip as well either. So we could very well be on our way up to doing new all-time highs for Ethereum, XRP and the other altcoins. And Ethereum is actually holding well above the belly of the beast, the top of the belly of the beast, trying hard to break above and stay above. So really getting above 2,700 is key for Ethereum to not come back down and retest and get swallowed back up by the beast again. But yeah, like I was saying, if we look at the total crypto market cap, this is going to be the key for us as far as knowing if we're in the clear or not. If we take a look at the dominances on the 3-day chart, we have prepare to buy soons. It's only when we see a 3-day buy now, we got to get cautious. As you can see, last time we seen 3-day prepare to buy soons on USDT dominance was back November 2024. And then we saw the buy now come in late December. And then that's when we started our correction. Right now, we don't have that buy now yet. So it's not like we need to be concerned at this moment, but we need to keep an eye out. And if we do see lower, I see us coming down to around 4.12%. That's where the macro 786 is. And that's kind of coinciding with this channel, this downward sloping channel that we've been in for USDT dominance. So as long as we're maintaining below this channel, we don't break back up above 4.8%, then we're still very much in a uptrend for crypto. And then looking at Bitcoin dominance in the middle of our screen, we need to start to see this roll back over and we can see the momentum get kicked back into the alts. So 3-day chart for Bitcoin dominance is headed to the downside still, even though we saw a little bit of a rebound. We need to see that continue lower. And then we need to see the others dominance kick up. And on the 1-day chart, you can see here we're trying to turn a corner here and pop up. And we could see a scenario that brings us up like this. And that could bring us up to around 9.5%. Even further, we could go to 10.5%, which would bring us to the top of the belly of the beast. And then if we break out of the top of the belly of the beast, that's when we know it's alt season. If we can break up above there, that'll be the moment when we know it's alt season. So then going into the pump dump chart for others, we did come up and then we came back down, and we actually came down to a key level. We just tapped it. It was the 786 here. We need to see us break back down below this level and get swallowed up by the belly of the beast, because when this chart goes down, others go up. So we're at a key trend line right now. If we do head up a little higher, we could come up to revisit the same level that we're at around May 18th. That could bring others back down to just retest kind of where it was at back here on May 18th. So we could just retest these lows again, tap this trend line, and then we could be very much well on our way to hitting that 350 to 360 billion. So I do think others, altcoins, are very close to erupting. They might just have one little more pullback first, and come up again, another one, and then we can just send it up by the final days of May into the first week of June. As long as Bitcoin is maintaining above its key levels that I had mapped out here around 106, ideally maintaining a weekly candle body closes above 108K. And if we do have a little bit more of a correction, then we absolutely need to hold the weekly candle body closes above, worst case scenario, 98.5K. We need to maintain the weekly candle bodies above this green market structure ribbon that we have now flipped officially green. We were red since March. We flipped it to green officially when we did that back here in the previous correction of last year from red to green. It was about a month and a half of substantial upside, then it was over and we just went down for months. So we could, like I said, the whole scenario has been, blow off top, heading into June. For Bitcoin, we already seen that new all-time high. I do think we see a further upside. Ethereum is going to catch up. XRP and the altcoins will catch up as well too. A standout altcoin that's been killing it has been ZBCN. We'll take a look at that. Our ZBCN to XRP peer-to-peer swap is officially up since, let's say, if you take it even from this top here, it's officially up around 40%. If you were to swap back into XRP now, you'd get 40% more XRP. Even a little bit earlier this morning, it was up 50%. I do see more upside, which would bring us to the top of the belly of the beast, which would be about, if you swapped at this level here to there, about doubling your XRP in a few months, with just some strategic swapping from coin to coin. I do see ZBCN, if we take a look at it just solely individually, we do have a 3-day prepare to sell soon, which we got to be mindful of because that called the top back here. But as long as we are holding the key level of 0.0022, then we're all good. Worst case scenario, 0.002. But I'd like to see us just continue with this momentum ASAP. We don't want to see us kind of hang around here. We want to see us continuing to move up and press up. And our next key level will be around 0.0036 to 0.0042. And then if we can head up even higher, we have the bottom of the hot zone around 0.0063 and the top of the hot zone with the 2618 extension at 0.012. Incredible. We're seeing it pan out a little bit later than we expected, but hey, it's panning out. So that's ZBCN. If we take a look at, let's see here, gold right now, we're at a key level, the micro 786. We want to see us get rejected here and start to roll back over. And then for the US Russell 2000, I have this marked out as far as the inverse head and shoulders happening as we speak. We want to hold that key level around 2000. For the US Russell 2000, we can see that we have a shoulder, head, shoulder. And if we can break back up above 2,150, then we can see us come up to around 2,300, this macro 786, or potentially even a new all-time highs, given this pattern formation in the target. So that's very solid to see. And then looking in the middle of the screen, we have the dollar breaking back down. So we're seeing the meltdown of the dollar. We have this trend line coming down like that. And then we have this trend line coming down like this. So our next target for the dollar would be, if it continues its meltdown, around 90, 93. The next move down in the dollar could be a very substantial one. 100% can be very substantial to the downside. So yeah, 93 to potentially 92. And that would bring us to the 786 from the low to the high up here. Yeah, right down to it, coinciding with that. So that's where I'd say we've got to get a little cautious when the dollar gets to around 94. So that's that. If we take a look at, all right, total crypto market cap, right? The vertical yellow is gone. So Bitcoin above 108,500 is solid. We want to see the weekly candle closes and monthly candle close with Bitcoin above 108,500, because we're looking here, 108,500, and now that has vanished, the vertical yellow. So that's going to be the key level. We know what we're watching for. We're locked in. Been playing this to a T since early April. It's been quite incredible. So join the Discord. I'm back. Link is in the bio. I'll see you guys in there and in the next video.